Now let's add a little bit of scoring to the game. I think it's always a bit fun when you have scorers that you can compare your best high score with other people or just with yourself, especially with a game like this that practically never ends. If you're good, you can just keep going. Having some sort of high score would be nice. So what I want to do is whenever you jump on a platform, you get 1 point and only 1 point. So if you jump on this platform twice, you only get 1 point. Okay, so how do we do that? Let's see. Let's create a GUI text first. Now a GUI text is basically just a way for you to display any sort of text on the screen. And we're just going to set the default as 0. Right, that would be your score basically. And I'm going to reposition this. Now the interesting thing is most of the time you probably don't want to directly manipulate it in this 3D space because it's not actually using the position that we're used to. So the transform for GUI text is as follows. X0 is the left side of the screen. 1, I'm going to do 0.9 so you can see it. So as you go close to 1, that's the right side of the screen. And Y0 is the bottom of the screen, 1 is the top of the screen. So that's very different from the sort of 3D space we use here. So just to remember that. Now I'm going to say position text in the middle of the screen. Anchor, let's just do middle center, right? Just to make sure that it's centered. And then in terms of Y, I want it to be close to the top. Right? So maybe we'll do it 0.95. Okay. So that's good. Let's keep it that way for now. And what we want to do is every time we add a point, we simply add 1 to this text. Right? So we just keep adding that number. Actually, I think it'll be more fun if we have another object that the player has to collect in order to get coins. So I'm just going to use this sphere here. Again, reset position. I keep doing that just because I want to make sure that the Z position is at 0. And I'm going to change this to coin. And I want it to be a trigger. Right. So this is our little goat coin here. Just pretend that it's a coin. Actually, let's use a cylinder. I think that will look better. Okay, and I'm gonna make it really short, something like that. And then I'm gonna rotate it. Right, so that looks more like a coin. I might just make it a little bit bigger so we can actually collect it. Right, okay, so that's our little fat coin there. Make sure it's a trigger. And we haven't been adding any colors to the game, so I'm just going to create a coin, a material for the coin, and I'm just going to pick a color. Okay, so that's a little bit more fun. Okay, change the name to coin. Okay, save. So I'm going to save the score data on the player object. You don't have to do it this way, but that's just how I like to do it. And I think I want a separate state machine for this. So again, playmaker, state machine. You don't necessarily have to do it this way, but just for now, I'm gonna keep things separate. Score. Okay. Now we have idle, which is nothing is happening. And I want to check for trigger events when the player triggers the coin, or when the coin triggers the player. So again, we need a tag. So go back to coin, add tag, and let's just add a tag, coin. Right. Remember, we always have to go back here, coin. Right. By the way, I'm just gonna rotate it a little bit more. Maybe something like that. Okay. Doesn't really matter. I just wanted to have some sort of consistency. Okay, that's fine. Where was I? Okay, so now when we go back to the score control state machine and collide tag, we wanted to go to the coin. We wanted to make sure we're triggering the coin. I think I'm putting this in the wrong state, so I'm going to copy, paste that. It should be in the idle state. Remove that one. And we're just going to have a finished state, which we use when the coin is collected. And also I'm going to create a variable that holds the coin that's being collected. And I'm going to store it here. Okay. Now another variable I want to keep is a current score. Right, and it's going to start from 0, so that's fine. And when the coin is triggered, when the player touches the coin, I want to do two things. First, I want to destroy the coin, right? So let's do that. Destroyed object, and get rid of the coin. And then the second thing is I want to add the value of the score, right? So the score was defined to be an integer, and I'm just going to do an int add, and I'll add 1. And when that's done, let's go back to the idle state. So let's call that state score. Okay, so let's see if it's working. Okay, so score is at 0, good. And that's right. So we remove the coin successfully. Let's check the score. Score is now 1, which is good. That's what we wanted, so that's good. And I'm just going to place a few of these randomly, just for some testing. So 1, 2, 3, and let's see. I should have a score of 3, right? So that's good. So that's working. Now I want to just simply add the coin as part of the platform prefab. So how do I do that? I'm just going to drag this in. See if that works. Yeah, I can just... Okay, I'm just going to drop that into... Oh, actually no, I don't want to do that. Let's see which platform this is. Okay, so that's that one. So I'm going to drop this coin into that platform there. Okay, and I'm going to simply apply this. When you click on apply, this is going to change all the prefabs, it's going to change the prefab to be exactly the same as this one that you're applying, and all the other instances of the prefab will change. So let's do that. Okay, you can see that the prefab now has a coin child object, and then these ones also showed up. So that's a quick way to make that change. And as you can see, all the new platforms now also have that coin, have those coins, rather. Okay, so that's the coin. Now I want to make sure that this text is showing the coin, right? This GUI text, I'm going to change the name as well. Score text. And let's go back to that state machine. Okay, so after I added the integer, after I added that score, I want to, okay, so first of all, let's create a string called score. Right, so remember, strings are text, words, anything that's not, anything that's alphabetical. I don't know if that's a correct way of saying it. Anything that's text, basically. And what we want to do here is we're going to convert an int to a string. So we're going to convert current score to score. Right? Okay, that's easy. And we're going to update the GUI text. Set GUI text. Now I want to make sure this happens last. Right? So we convert int to a string. Why? Because on the GUI text, this takes a text variable, it takes a string. So I need to change the int variable to a string variable, and I'm just going to specify which object to use. We're going to use the GUI text object that we're just looking at, and what text we want to set it to. We're going to set it to score. Okay, so that should do it. Let's try that. Pay attention to this number here. So as we get more and more coins, now the game is slightly buggy with the wall because you can actually position your player in between the edge of the screen and the wall, and it'll be invisible, and then it'll be game over. So I mean, we can always go and fix that, but that's not what I'm worried about right now. Let's just get the scoring. So you can see that you are collecting more coins, and then it's reflected in the text. So that's pretty good. Right. Okay, so that's how you can start to have some sort of a basic scoring system.